Good afternoon. My name is Ned Semonite. I'm with Vigo. We're a brand new company. The company was founded by people out of the video conferencing and robotics industries. And we've designed and developed a product to enable people to be in more than one place at a time. So if you look on the second slide, available methods to achieve being there, these are the list of technologies that we use to communicate today. Email at one end and being there in person in the other end. And what we try to do is be as close as we can to having somebody be there in person. So this is what you should be looking at right there. See that? Okay, I think we need a little help there. So we enable people to not only see and hear and talk, but also to move around. So let me tell you a little bit about how this works. So you've got somebody who sits at a desktop PC or a laptop. Shortly we'll work on tablets like this as well, but right now we need a little computing power to make all this work. So from your home or your office or airport or hospital or clinic, wherever you may be, you select the Vigo or the place that you want to go to that has a Vigo, and you click on it, and then instantly you're connected to this. And your face, transmitted from your webcam, appears on this screen. And so now this becomes you, if you will, in a separate location. Anyone who's in front of this can hear you talk, you can hear them, you can see them, both sides can hear and see each other, but also you can move around. So you can go where you need to go to in that facility. So it's sort of like video conferencing, except that you're mobile. And you control where you want to go and what you want to see. You're not dependent on any of the people who are there with this. The people who are with it, they don't touch it. You drive it. You control it. It's 100% operated by the person who's remote. So that gives you a great deal of flexibility in terms of what you want to look at, where you might be in that particular facility. We're seeing lots of applications with respect to where this is being used in many different industries. But let's look at healthcare specifically. Today, we've only been shipping for a few months, but we have a couple hundred units that are out there in the field being used. And I'd say that patient monitoring is probably the most common application that we're seeing, where a healthcare staff is monitoring patients either in the hospital or an assisted living facility or maybe even at home. So as an example, Children's Hospital here in Boston is sending these home with a child after surgery for those that have a longer recovery period, and the hospital staff is periodically checking up on the child and their recovery, and they believe that by doing this they will greatly reduce readmissions. So they're entirely focused on cost in terms of why they're deploying it. We'll be launching an application soon where you can get an interpreter on the screen. So if you have a patient that comes in that only speaks Cambodian, then you can come to the screen here and pick one of 100 different languages and instantly get a Cambodian translator on the screen immediately. Signing as well. So think of those applications where you have a resource that can't be there with you for some reason, whether it's a doctor, an interpreter, a nurse, or even a family member. We have a hospital in California that's using this to enable distant family members to come visit patients who are there. And not only can they see and hear and talk to them, but they can also move around in that facility. They can go to the rehab center. They can go down the hall with them when they go to get an x-ray. They can spend more time with them. And the hospital is doing this because they understand that the happier the patient is, the quicker they get better, and overall they're looking that their costs are going to be lower too. The next slide there just shows you some of the healthcare organizations that are using Vigo today, and more and more coming online every day. And then I've got a few photos to show you on the next slide. So the one in the upper left is a kid who's in first grade, a boy who had a lung transplant, and he's hospital bound, but yet his parents didn't want him to miss school. So the Vigo is in school, and from his hospital bed, he goes to class and drives from class to class every day. And the picture underneath you can see is his view of the classroom when he's there in his Vigo body, if you will. There's a set of lights on the top here that he can flick on and off, and that's how he raises his hand when he wants the teacher to call on him. The photo on the right is of a boy who has spina bifida, who's going to school. I believe he's now in the 7th grade, and he's never been in school before in his life. And now he's going there and hanging out with his friends and going from class to class. On the bottom, you can see some photos of at Palomar Health out in California, where they're using it for a whole range of applications. That photo on the left, which is on the cover of their patient newsletter, a woman is going to have a Vigo in the birthing room so that her husband, who's currently serving in Iraq, can be there when she's having her baby. And of course, the mobility enables him to be wherever he wants to be in that hospital room when he's there and using it. So that's just a brief introduction to Vigo. It's $6,000. We've worked very hard on cost to try to make it affordable. It's very easy to use. You just use a standard PC and it connects to the Wi-Fi network. We're in Verizon's 4G lab right now, getting certified to have a cellular modem inside, so that at some point you won't need any Wi-Fi connection at all. So as long as there's cellular service available to you, then you can drive it wherever you want. We see this as sort of the first in a range of products that will have a whole different set of capabilities over time. And in the future, we'll see very inexpensive products that consumers will buy. The big market there we see as family caregivers for older parents. So I'm a perfect example. My mother's 84. She lives by herself. Half the time I call her and she doesn't answer the phone. So is she okay or not? I don't know. I call the neighbor. They come over and check on her. So now I can let myself into her house effectively and drive around and find her. So that will be a market. And then at the higher end, we'll see devices that will be much more capable, that can drive themselves from point A to B, be able to take medical readings and transfer that healthcare information back to wherever the caregiver may be. So I think in the future you're going to see these types of devices not only in healthcare but also in many other industries as well. So you're seeing it here first. So thank you very much. Appreciate your time. Can I answer any questions for anybody?